Red rooms, fact or fiction, inside the alleged dark web torture chambers. What would drive someone to watch such horror? Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos, and we are broadcasting live to the world from Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome back in, everybody. Good to see you. So, we're just going to kind of have a quick chat. We're going to go over a few articles that I read over the past few days that I found interesting. These are the ones that I selected. I read a whole lot more because you guys know I love to read articles. So, I spent a few hours going through them, and these I picked three of them. We don't have all the time in the world. If we did, we could probably spend 8 hours talking about the dark web. So the way I see it, they used to refer to these types of videos as like snuff. People wanting to see torture and murder on video. Well, that's kind of what the Red Room is. It may have started as a myth or maybe a few issues that they had overseas involving a Red Room, but I believe that what they're really referring to is the live streaming of torture and murder and death or CSAM, things like that. And people are able to participate. They're able to pay money and direct these psychos on how they would like the victim to be tortured. So we'll get into it. What's up, Tony N? Christine, Boston, Michael. What's up, Michael Morales? She Warrior, it's always good to see you. Don't forget to go get your Sleuth Crew merch at sleuthintuition.com. Free shipping. What's going on, CJK? Julianne. Boston Christian in the building. James Cope. You can't cope unless it's James Cope. Yeah, this is pretty scary, actually. I won't lie. That's kind of why I cover a lot of these things like serial killers and things like that, because it's terrifying. I'm very curious as to how it happens, how it starts, because these people seem to be normal. They say, oh, well, they've been hiding in plain sight. Well, a lot of times they weren't hiding at all. They were actually normal at one time. So you ask yourself, how does this happen to somebody? Like, how do you become Ted Bundy? Like, it has to be a process in most cases, right? The weather's changing out here in Phoenix, so it looks like the allergies are starting to kick in. So if you see me go off screen, it's probably because I'm sneezing or having a sneezing fit. What's up, Hiawatha? Jerry, what's good? Sparky. Jeanette. Good to see everybody. Basically a cameo for Chomos. Even worse. I think that Red Rooms, Snuff, the dark web, I think this is pastime entertainment for people like Rex Heuermann. All of these serial killers, remember that we've talked about. We're talking about hundreds of active serial killers in the United States, and they believe a majority of them are long haul truckers. That's the audience. And a lot of these people have power, influence, or connected. A lot of these serial killers are probably pretty powerful. They start out like Keegan Kline, then they turn into Rex Heuermann, and then if they don't get caught, they just keep progressing and evolving into something much worse. This article, the first one we're going to get into, this one is by Victoria Velkova. And this is a new article that was published 13 days ago. Before we do that, let's set up a poll. All right. So it's going to be simple. Fact or fiction? We're going to keep it simple. No in-betweens on this one. So if you guys could, go ahead and participate in the poll. Question, fact or fiction? And most of these articles, the reason I picked them is because they're more leaning to them being not a fact. You guys know how I feel about the dark web, covering the Delphi case and all these cases that seem to be connected, especially when it comes to CSAM and how people actually acquire it, create it, sell it, obtain it anonymously. A lot of it happens on the dark web. Welcome to the red room. Yeah, I should probably make sure there's no red in the background or make it all red. That might be too scary. All I need is somebody walking up from behind me on camera in some kind of creepy mask. Hey, J Ray, what's up? No 50-50, James. No 50-50. Hey, Susie. Or CJK, sorry, no 50-50. Fact or fiction? No in between today. James says, I believe there are two groups of people that do these red rooms. Real perverts and people that are so desperate they will do this to others to make money. Yeah, I guess there's two kinds of psychos, right? There's your sexual sadist who happens to be a psychopath, and then there's your money motivated psychopath, like your hitman or what you're referring to, James. You know, they don't fantasize about killing, but they don't have any issues doing it. If the money's right, they'll do anything. Hello, Sparky. Fact or fiction? What do you mean? That's the name of today's live stream. Dark Web Red Rooms. Fact or fiction? Do they exist? Is it a real thing? It's a huge debate online. So is this a real thing? So red rooms are really just the newer version of what was referred to as a snuff film. But this is basically a snuff film integrated with all the technology, you know, of live streaming, the internet, embedded links, shit like that. All right. Once again, this article is written by Victoria Velkova. Shout out to Victoria. She did a good job on this. If you guys want to go check her out at vocal.media on their criminal section. J Race is 100%. Well, we've covered the dark web and things like this long enough to know that, yes, they are real. But I mean, if you guys want to debate that, I'm up for it. All right. We'll see how you feel after we go through this information. Do you guys want to read along, or you guys good? I know some people feel left out if I don't put it up on the screen. Let me know. Um, there's a chilling legend that circulates among dark web enthusiasts and thrill seekers. Whispers of a place where the worst nightmares come come to life in real time. I think my eyes are going bad, guys. I'm getting old. They're called red rooms, a name that conjures images of blood-soaked walls and unimaginable horror. Allegedly, red rooms are hidden live streams on the dark web where people can pay to watch torture or murder as it happens, with viewers even able to dictate the fate of the victims. Oh, I love that movie, James. That's one of my top. That's in my top 10 with Joaquin Phoenix. Great movie. 8 millimeter. One of the greatest true crime movies ever made. Absolutely. Julie says, "All fact. I've been on the dark web before, but not for this kind of yucky stuff." Welcome in, Jason G. So I'm sure you just heard the definition. Allegedly, red rooms are hidden live streams on the dark web where people can pay to watch torture or murder as it happens, with viewers even able to dictate the fate of their victims. So I don't know where the narrative or who's feeding this narrative that it's a myth, but I feel like the same thing happened with snuff films. Anytime you tried, journalists were writing articles about it, people making movies, everybody just came out overwhelmingly, oh, it's just a myth. It's just a myth. And that was probably the FBI because they're the ones creating that shit or facilitating it at the least. What's up, Julianne? Yeah, Jason, for sure. I mean, we've covered plenty of cases on this channel, so it's verifiable. The very idea of Red Room sounds like something straight out of a horror movie. I think they recently made a horror movie of that. You might even want to dismiss it as an urban legend born out of the internet's darkest corners. But the thing about the dark web is it thrives on that fine line between fact and fiction. That's true. It's a place that feels both impossible and entirely too real at the same time. I mean, we went over the Schillmiller case earlier. What was his motivation for convincing a woman to commit murder? It could have been just his own sick pleasure, or he could have been fulfilling an order or creating a product that he knows that there's a market for. In the Cassidy Rainwater case, the group of people explain so much. There's codes you give if you want murder, torture, etc. Unbelievable. Yeah, it's like this coded language that normal people like us don't know anything about. It takes years and years of um, being a sicko to eventually for people to trust you, for you to gain their trust, for you to learn the language. It takes time and effort. Just like anything, whenever you become good at something, it's because you're experienced. Thank you, Sparky. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys want to help my channel grow and help support me, every little bit helps. Sparky sharing the Venmo, the Cash App. I appreciate that. You know, I can't sit around doing YouTube all day and not expect to support myself. So if you guys like this channel and you want to keep it around, remember you guys are the fuel to that fire. There's no e-bag in here. I'm going to leave it at that. J Ray says, "Ugh, I hate that. Brown noise ad. Laugh out loud like I don't need my brain smoothed out. Right, chat? J Ray. You expect me to believe that? I don't trust anybody. And I don't expect the sleuth crew to trust me. It's rule number one. We trust nobody. If there's one thing you can trust, is that you can't trust anyone. Sorry, Sparky. I can get you mixed up. I'm pretty sure you are. Cold blooded killer. I don't think so either, Julia. Because usually people who are on the dark web are there for malicious reasons. But there was an article that I read. Maybe I should have shared it. It just it was kind of long winded. But it was a journalist who went undercover on the dark web. I didn't really like the writing style. It didn't really flow. But now that I think about it, it could have been very relevant. Hey, what's up, Pitbull Mom? Been a minute. How you doing? Yep, fulfilling an order. What's up, Charles? Sup, Chuck? Nana, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, you just get yourself in trouble, probably. Aw, blush, blush. Charles, a little sweet talker. Kept in a cage, tortured, filmed, everything, cannibalism, etc. Just horrible. Yeah, that's a rough case. Yep, I am well. How you doing? All right, let's continue on here. I remember the first time I heard about red rooms. It was late at night, and I was deep in some online rabbit hole. Never been there. Reading about dark web conspiracies. Yeah, we don't do that kind of shit around here. This Victoria Velkova, what a weirdo. Just kidding. The idea horrified me, but at the same time, I couldn't help but be curious. Could such a thing really exist? How could people watch something so evil, let alone pay for it? And this includes people in high places, wickedness in high places. For those unfamiliar, the dark web is an intentionally hidden part of the internet that you can't access with the regular browser. You need special software like Tor to even reach it. Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate that. Wow. Very nice of you. Thank you. It's a shadowy place where anonymity reigns supreme. And that's what makes Red Room seem possible. After all, if you can hide your identity, what's to stop the worst kind of people from carrying out their darkest fantasies? Exactly. Right now, there's somebody in a basement or sitting with their family, and everything is internalized. They're thinking, man, I want to do this, fantasizing about kidnapping kids or women or men or boys and committing torture and things like that. How are they, if they can't bring themselves to actually do it physically, they might be interested in something similar to this, or they partake. They may even be, like I said, I think Rex Heuermann would be a perfect customer for something like a red room. I think he's probably seen live murder. He's the same guy that would go to clubs and meet potentially with other killers. Thank you, Sparky. Thanks for sharing the Zelle. And I got my first Zelle the other day. So big shout out to you. You know who you are. I don't want to throw you guys under the bus. Every little bit helps, guys. It means a lot to me. It really does. After all, if you can hide your identity, what's to stop the worst kind of people from carrying out their darkest fantasies? And that's true. And how many true crime stories do we have to cover to realize there are some sick SOBs out there? I mean, beyond sick. We covered a case last week um, where two men and their significant others were creating bestiality, CSAM with their own kids, incest. And we went to check out their Facebooks, and they look like regular people. They have friends, and all their friends are shocked. And it's just crazy to see how this type of thing exists. You never know; it could be right next door, guys. Yep, we're always in cahoots. I'm an animal whisperer. Yeah, that's a good rule to live by. Now I'm starting to wonder about you, J Ray. Is she sensing something? Hmm. The stories about red rooms are terrifying. According to the legends, viewers, and these aren't legends, enter a hidden site, often through an encrypted invitation, and the links to make payments are encrypted. So if you're not the person who makes the purchase, you won't have access. And that includes law enforcement. You are required to pay the cryptocurrency to gain access to the live stream. That's another thing. Crypto is involved as well. Untraceable. The sick part, they don't just watch, they can interact. And the thing about crypto is they have ATM all throughout the United States. There's a whole I think there's even one or two near Delphi. If viewers can request specific acts, rumor has it for the right amount of money, viewers can request specific acts of violence to be performed on the victim. Torture, mutilation, and even murder, all played out in front of a voyeuristic audience. Hey, Sparky. You access it through certain browsers. One is referred to as I think, Tor, or like an Onion browser. Go look at the Norfleet live stream that we did. The guy from Delphi who was caught surfing the dark web and looking up bestiality and CSAM and things like that. They kind of explained it in the affidavit there. Sleuth, I need a tinfoil beanie. When are those coming out? Probably never. All you need to do is go into your kitchen and pull some tinfoil out and just wrap it around your head. Hey, Misty, how you doing? Hell yeah, it's real, Misty. So be careful. Yeah, go ahead, Sparky. Thank you, Pitbull. Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah, I appreciate that. We have our home now. We can run around and spin. Plenty of room for aerobics. Monsters can be right in your mirror. Yeah, you got to be careful. I mean, how does somebody like Richard Allen become this monster? Was it always there laying dormant, just waiting for his mama Kathy to cut the leash? Once he was off the leash, look what happened. Hold on, guys. I think my wife's trying to figure out food. Her and the girls are out. They were doing their nails. She'll come around, J Ray. She'll come around. Charles says everyone has a limit. Whoops. This phone is driving me crazy. It wants to record my texts all the time. I believe that, Charles. I just believe people like Ted Bundy, their limit is very limited. Their limit has no limit. Yikes, Sparky. This might not be the stream for you. It's only going to get worse. Guilty by association. Yep, I think so too. I mean, the way they explained it with the Delphi case, Richard Allen having a personality disorder, some kind of weird attachment to his wife, the very moment that he loses that attachment, he commits a murder. Makes sense to me. All right. It sounds like something too twisted to be true, right? And that's where things get murky. Despite all the horror stories, solid evidence of a real red room has never been found. That's not true. Some believe that red rooms are nothing more than a scam, a way for dark web con artists to steal cryptocurrency from the gullible or the thrill seekers. There are accounts from people who claim they found a red room only to be met with nothing but pre recorded videos or pixelated footage that could easily be faked. Law enforcement agencies from the FBI to international cybercrime units have reportedly stated that they've never encountered a legitimate red room. They've shut down plenty of illegal operations on the dark web, drug markets, human trafficking rings, weapon trades, but not a single confirmed case of a live stream torture or murder, and yet the stories persist. Yeah, that's just not true. It happens all the time here in the United States. It happens overseas as well. So it makes you wonder, I don't trust the FBI. That much I can tell you. And I feel like they might be in cahoots. A part of me wants to believe that it's all a myth, something crafted by the internet's most twisted imaginations. But there's another part of me that can't shake the feeling that somewhere deep within the darkest layers of the web, something like a red room could exist. After all, the internet is vast and impossible to fully monitor. And it's not like you can type in a website like google.com and then it takes you to or you can't type in something like redroom.com and then you're like, "Oh my god, it's live and it's live murders." That's not how it works. You have to be trusted, you have to be a proven sicko, you have to be providing your own stuff, and then by word of mouth, you're going to get a link. And in this link is going to be a small group of people, all proven people like Rex Heuermann, Keegan Klein, Darren Schillmiller. This type of group will be in this room watching this because they know where to find the people who are making it and creating it. They know where to find them on the dark web. And they've probably been supplying product to the same people as far as CSAM, sextortion, videos of young girls, all the sick stuff that we heard about during Keegan Klein's trial, including bestiality. James says pervs and psychos have been around long before the internet or the dark web was ever created. The dark web was actually created by and for the Navy for top secret comms. Exactly. So they could get rid of it, which is very suspicious, right? Just get rid of it altogether. But they use it to monitor these people. But what happens when it gets into the wrong hands? Somebody that's corrupt, somebody that's using it to make a lot of money. Some psychopathic trust fund baby spending millions of dollars on a Red Room film. It doesn't have to be some redroom.com. It could just be a small group of people creating a product or even somebody advertising that they want. This is what they're looking for. Thank you, Pitbull. Yeah, go hit that like button, guys. It's right there. Just hit it. Click it. From the cross face. Yikes. One of the most unsettling aspects of the Red Room myth is how it plays on our fears about human nature. Absolutely. Could there really be people out there so detached from morality that they would pay to watch another person be tortured or even killed? Yes. And if there are people willing to pay, could there be somebody out there twisted enough to provide the service? Yes. Maybe that's why the legend endures. It's not just about the technology or the anonymity of the dark web, it's about what it says about us as humans. I agree with that, Victoria. Red rooms, whether real or not, reflect the darkest parts of our collective psyche, where violence becomes entertainment and empathy disappears behind the screen. Thanks, Jake. There's something both repulsive and fascinating about the idea of a red room. As terrifying as it is, the fact that we keep talking about it, reading about it, wondering whether it could be true shows just how much the dark web taps into our deepest fears. It's the unknown that scares us. The idea that somewhere out there, evil might be happening in real time and no one can stop it. It's happening right now. Right now, there is a serial killer who is binding a victim's hands as we speak. Right now, somewhere in the United States, somebody from a completely different state is sextorting a young person thousands of miles away in a completely separate state. There's people right now that are being held captive in somebody's basement, and they've been there for years. So, are red rooms fact or fiction? As of now, they're still considered a myth, a story that exists more in our minds than in reality. But in a world where technology has made so many unimaginable things possible, can we ever really be sure? Perhaps the scariest thing about red rooms isn't whether they exist, it's the fact that the idea feels entirely too plausible. And in a place like the dark web, where the lines between the real and what's fake blur with every click, that's enough to keep you up at night. We have a scrub report 38 in chat and only 25 thumbs up. Don't be a scrub. We don't want no scrubs. Okay, here's an interesting article. This one I'll share with you because there's an actual mugshot. And not all of these are specifically about red rooms. These are just about what humans are capable of. And most of it does involve the dark web. Okay, the title of this article from Channel 10, Tampa Bay: St. Pete man plotted online with someone to kidnap, rape, and murder a child. And the kids and the family of the children have no clue. Police say the child targeted in this case does not live in the state. Jason Foley, look at this guy. If you passed him in the grocery store, would you think anything of it? He doesn't look like he's on drugs. He doesn't have any face tattoos. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, he doesn't fit the type. Seems like a coworker or something, you know? Petersburg, Florida, a man was arrested after police say he and another man plotted online to kidnap, sexually assault, and murder a child. So there's not some huge conspiracy here. It's just this fucking guy and another guy. That's all it takes. And if they decide that they're going to kill people on a live stream, and if you pay money on a link, you can join the audience. I mean, if you pay enough, all there needs to be is an audience of one. Not a whole lot of working parts. Just somebody with a sickness and motivated by money, or just to share it. Maybe they get off on sharing it and doing these types of things. Jason Foley, 47, was taken into custody around 10:30 a.m. by St. Petersburg Police SWAT team at his apartment on 3rd Avenue south of Beacon, 430 apartment homes. Police said he lives alone and no one was at the apartment at the time of his arrest. The agency said investigators from an out-of-state law enforcement agency contacted officers and told them Foley was connected to their active case. Their suspect and Foley have reportedly been talking about plans online to kidnap, sexually assault, and murder a child. And remember, that's what happened in Evansdale, and that's what happened in Delphi. We still don't know why the girls were targeted or who did it. Right in the middle of the day, right in the middle of daytime. Police noted the child targeted by the two men does not live in Florida. Foley was charged with the following: 23 counts of possession of child porn, 3 counts of transmission of CSAM, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit kidnapping, commit capital sexual battery, and commit aggravated child abuse. Jeez. So you don't need some sophisticated website on the dark web. You just need a group of sickos. That's it. Okay, this next article was on from the New York Times. Hopefully, it'll let me read this. Hold on. It might make me log into my Gmail. Hold on. Shit, I don't know if it's going to let me. Oop. Oh, there we go. Continue without subscribing. Okay, this one is from the New York Times, titled "On These Apps, the Dark Promise of Mothers Sexually Abusing Their Children." Now, this is kind of like Denali from the Darren Schillmiller case, right? That's how Darren found her. He was on a dating site and she was promoting that she was selling CSAM. She was abusing her own sister, who was 9, I believe, at the time, whose twin sister may have been murdered by their stepfather as an infant. So she watched her sister get murdered, and then she abused the other one when she was 18. Sick. So smartphone Smartphone apps downloaded from Apple and Google can allow parents and other abusers to connect with pedophiles who pay to watch and direct criminal behavior. So they're not calling it a red room here, but that's what it is. That's what we're looking at. That is what we're dealing with. Yeah, right, CJ. If only they wore a name tag that said pedophile. Absolutely, Pitbull. Keep it that way. Trust no one. Jeanette, maybe you just have that eye. Me, I more go with my gut. You know how I feel about certain things. I trust my instincts. What's up, Jason? Welcome in, Jay. Good to see you. What's up, Paul? Yeah, we were just talking about 8mm. One of my favorite. That's my one of my top 10 movies. That's a great movie. Joaquin Phoenix was great in that movie. The whole cast. I mean, just some heavy hitters in that movie. Tony Soprano. How dark we getting into? A little bit. Here, you're about to find out. I don't know. What are the Eagles? What does that even mean? Well, there's probably a reason that I haven't watched it. I don't think there's anybody from the original cast in it. Taylor Swift lost. I kind of know that name. All right, this article is by Michael H. Keller. Let's see. Michael H. Keller has been investigating online child sexual abuse for 5 years and has focused the past year on parental involvement and exploitation. The promotional photo showed a mother affectionately hugging and kissing her daughter. The girl, around 8 years old, smiled into the camera. With a few swipes of their phones, men entered a live stream where they paid $150 to watch the mother sexually abuse the girl for 10 minutes. Now, if you think that Kagan Klein wasn't participating in shit like this, or at least coming across it, maybe even getting the idea, like, hey, maybe I can do this. You know, maybe we can live stream something. The horrendous activity wasn't hidden on some dark corner of the internet. It was available for anyone with an iPhone or Android to download from the Apple or Google App Store. The woman, who lives in Southeast Asia, promoted her live stream on Bigo Live, BIGO, a video chat app where the New York Times viewed a screenshot of her profile early this year. When she was later contacted online by an undercover agent for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, posing as a man interested in young girls, she directed him to another live streaming app where her pay-per-view sexual abuse had moved. Very sophisticated. Hang in there, this account. Hang in there. Yeah, KK. He's the worst. Kagan Klein. I mean, he's not as pathetic as he appears. He's much more devious. I mean, for all we know, he's the killer. You know, he's the one that motivated Richard Allen. Or they both are. Eight millimeter, 35 millimeter. I think they just called it VHS. Jason says there was a prawn site that recently purged its database because of underage pics and videos. Good. I heard Apple doesn't report that kind of stuff very good, but I heard Dropbox does. We've covered some cases where people were busted on Dropbox. And another thing called Wicker, which is a strange name. All right. Since last year, the Times has been investigating the world of parents who run accounts on Instagram and elsewhere for their underage daughters and who post or sell racy photos of the girls, in some cases earning large sums of money. The Times reported in February that many of the so-called mom-run social media accounts with the biggest reach were overwhelmingly followed by adult men, including pedophiles. The live stream apps downloaded from Apple and Google illustrate an even darker aspect of social media technology, particularly for children living in poverty in developing countries. There, with the ease of a smartphone, parents and other adults can connect with pedophiles in the United States and elsewhere who pay to watch and direct criminal behavior. And that's what we're dealing with here with Red Rooms. That's what it is. It's like a live stream. It's not just your basic snuff film. What we're talking about is a live stream similar to this. So imagine you log on here and it's you've already paid. Let's say you've paid $150 to access the website or the live stream. And behind me is somebody being tortured. Now you can access a link and pay a whole lot of money to where now you have access to chat with me or communicate with me and direct me to do certain things. Kind of like that movie Hostel. Remember how crazy that movie was? Exactly, Boston. That's why we have to educate ourselves. These pedophiles and these killers are using a language that we don't speak. They're using code words that we don't know about. Like we barely know about, what was it, Pizzagate? Like, oh, a slice of pizza or whatever. Like nobody knew what that meant. Oh, that movie's great. Crash and burn. It's perfect. Think of it, yeah, it's basically like a strip club, but virtual. And the strippers don't strip, people get killed and tortured. Oh yeah, he's going to hell. He's gonna have to face up because I don't think he has any remorse. Yikes. James says, I don't understand why the government doesn't crack down, or Mark Zuckerberg asked for Instagram. Some of the shit I see there is insane. The parents let their kids do videos. Yeah, it's disturbing. We have to change the culture. Absolutely, Boston Christian. Boston ass, so Sleuth, are you saying that coward mom made money on that 10 minutes? Yes. Now, just before Darren Schillmiller convinced an 18-year-old woman to commit murder, to kill her own best friend and to film it, it was basically a Red Room film. She was live streaming it on Snapchat and sending him the videos and talking to him on the phone, and she was taking instructions on what to do with the body. It's no different. Before all that happened, she was sending him CSAM with her own sister. Like, if you guys don't believe in the devil, I mean, there's your proof right there. If you don't believe in good and evil, it's not just a construct. I mean, it's a real battle. It's the world that we're living in. It's not just something in our mind. We may not understand it fully, but we understand it enough to know which is which, right? Hopefully. Good, this account. There's a lot of CSAM that goes on. Facebook was really criticized for being at the low end of the list of people who turn it in. So was iPhone. Apple was really low on that list. I think somebody was doing really well. I think it was Dropbox. So I don't think these pedophiles are using Dropbox too much. But there's other apps that are just similar to Dropbox. So they just keep moving. As soon as the heat's on, they keep moving. Hey, Mr. Beer. Thanks for hanging out. It's good to see you. Take care of this account. We'll see you again soon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't let them ruin it for the rest of us, Sparky. Still have our freedoms. You don't ever give your freedom up for security, or you'll lose both. There's a movie from 2011 that's interesting called Megan is Missing about an internet predator. It's on Tubi. I'll check it out, Jason. Thank you, Sparky. Yikes. Charles says, let's be honest here. The Delphi community is full of mentally broken and sexually deranged. I agree with that. So I try to keep to myself. Taylor Swift may have lost, but I'm not mad about it. I think her and President Trump got into a fight backstage. Very possible, Christine. Okay. Where were we? Okay, after confirming the authenticity of the Big O live streamer with the authorities, the Times searched the Apple and Google app stores for other video chat apps. Reporters identified a sample of more than 80 apps that advertise children before stopping the search. Jeez. Now remember, Yubo is something that was abused similar, and it was brought up in the Delphi murders. They said that Yubo and Anthony Shots, there was a connection there, and they were hoping somebody could come forward. Now, Yubo is a live streaming app. How is that connected? We know Keegan Klein isn't live streaming anything. You know, what's he going to live stream? That fucking shitty ass Canal Street house and the stupid wallpaper and the deer heads on the wall? Like, hell no. He's watching something, or he's live streaming his videos and his content. Charles says, it's sad. I've seen tons of it firsthand. Now I'm scared and been getting away from it. Good. Mr. Beer says, I watched a video on the dark web, said it was really hard to access. I can't just stumble on it. Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, you need to be careful. You can click on a link and then all of a sudden your computer has CSAM on it. Now you've just committed a crime. Jason, you always pop out guns blazing though. Boston says Matthew 18:10. See that you do not despise one of these little children. I tell you, they have angels in heaven that always see the face of our Father in heaven. Hey, Betsy Ross in the building. How you doing? Oops. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Is the dark web still only accessed by Tor or Onion? I believe so. Yes, Betsy. From what I know, from my understanding, everything that I've gathered, that is accurate. I always wanted to see the Silk Road website, but I'm not computer savvy to even try. Silk Road was the eBay for criminals. Yeah, there's a big documentary on Netflix about it. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. It's pretty good. Hey, Anna, remember the rumor that Doug Carter went to France because of U-boat or yellow, but in his last interview, he mentioned a European vacation with his wife. Well, that's probably what he's referring to. But he wouldn't have to go to France. I think what they meant by the investigation went to France because the creators of U-boat lived in France. So I don't know why you would have to go there just to ask a simple question or to ask for access to records. Yeah, U-boat was created by two young French students. And they have to continually change the name from yellow, Yubo. I think it even changed over to purple at one point. Every color in the book. Every color on the damn color wheel. Oh, that's true, Jason. I forgot about that. That is true. Trump pardoned him. Oh, he did. Wow. I'm not pro criminal, but life without parole seemed way over the top. Who's that? The Silk Road guy? Well, I don't think the Silk Road guy was a pervert. He was more about creating the free marketplace and that people would make their own choice, kind of like in the real world. Like in the United States, you're free, to walk up and down the street, but that doesn't mean that people aren't going to commit acts of violence, while they're out in the street. You can't control that, right? I think that's what the Silk Road guy was saying. Like, hey, I've created this marketplace. People are free to do what they want, and I'm not promoting evil stuff. I can't control people. This is just freedom. Ross Albright. It's a good way to look at it, Anna. Some people are too smart for their own good, right? Silk Road was a dark web marketplace. You could purchase drugs, you could purchase anything. Anything your heart desired. Things that weren't illegal, things that were illegal. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about that, Jason. So I'm not going to talk about it. I don't know the whole story. I just heard a report on it the other day, briefly. Could buy people, Jesus. Okay, the agency made the undercover agent available to answer questions so long as it was not identified. The app had not been a focus of the agency's work, the agent said. The criminal activity mirrored that on dating websites he had investigated. So that's what we learned while researching Darren Schulmiller's case. That's how he met Denali. Bremer was on a dating app. So they're kind of hiding in plain sight when it comes to that kind of thing. While mothers or other family members are the most common culprits, he said, other adults, including members of criminal organizations, sometimes arrange the abuse. The number one customer base paying for this abuse is in the United States, the agent said. It's not like they are abused once a day. It's 50 men getting 50 separate shows. They'll wake up these kids in the middle of the night to be abused. God. The live stream apps follow different models. Some, like Big O, are designed for the mainstream audience to watch dancers, gamers, or other content creators. Viewers can reward streamers with in app currency. Others are geared toward men looking for sexual encounters, and users can pay by the minute for private video chats. Although Apple and Google ban pornography from their stores, the Times found apps that showed nude adults in sexual poses. Some apps had names like 18 plus live and video chat, adult live chat, and adult calls, love chat. Hey, what's up, Mustang? What are you up to? I agree, Boston. It's a gateway. I mean, it's evil in its own right, but as our culture, they're teaching people to accept it little by little. I don't doubt it, Anna. I mean, when I was a little kid, we would find maybe like a page out of a Playboy kind of floating down the street or as we're walking through the desert riding our bikes, and we would covet that thing. We'd be like, "Hey, check this out." We pass around this page from a Playboy. Now, little kids can just type in Pornhub and, you know, leaves nothing to the imagination. It's crazy. It's a wicked, wicked world, and it's only getting worse. It's hard for me, Mr. Beer. It's hard. You have to continually try to stay focused because your subconscious wants to kind of move it aside. Like, oh, that's not real. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts. But that when you lower your guard, that's when you're not aware what your kids are doing. You're not focused on the guy following you, in the grocery store. You got to be completely aware at all times. And if you don't know what to look for and you don't educate yourself, how are you going to be aware? Good, Charles. Well, you're always safe here, buddy. You're always safe here. Anna says the internet is potentially a cesspool that you invite into your home. Yeah, I mean it's like it's a way for people to get into your lives. Kind of like a phone. Like I don't like people calling me unannounced. Like I won't pick up my phone. If I'm not expecting your call, I'll let the answering service get it. I'll let it go to voicemail. Cuz it's basically like somebody gaining access into my home. Same thing with the internet. That's true, Boston. Hey, Cheeks, what's up? Says I watched a Swedish documentary on Nambla that was made, I think, in the early 2000s, maybe late 90s. It was insane. Tell me more. Tell me more. Oh, the good old days. Hey, what's up, Cindy? Well, you're up now. Just looked it up. The documentary came out in 1994. It was called Chicken Hawk. I guarantee it's one of the more disturbing documentaries you'll ever watch. There's really nothing explicit. All right, I'll check it out. Chicken Hawk. When I was in first grade, I found a picture of Cher with a see-through dress on, folded it up and put it in my pocket. My mom found it, got my ass beat to a pulp. Yeah, I mean, I would have done the same thing. That's currency as a little boy. You find something like that, you got to hold on to it. Anna says, I don't do personal stuff online. Over the years, I've made a couple friends online who are now part of my real life, but that's all. Yeah, I don't recommend it. Some people are just very toxic, and it takes a long time to realize that. People, they get to know you, and somehow they start to convince themselves that you owe them something. You know what I mean? Like people are only friends with you because they're trying to gain your favor. Like, oh, I did all these nice things for you. Now I expect something in return. It's crazy. Hey, we got a super chat. Sleuth is fighting to stop this god. Thank you. And honestly, guys, I just live in fear of it. It's my worst fear. Death, things like that. I can't handle it. Like this Saturday, we have to drive pretty much across the state so I can go to my grandmother's funeral. And I haven't been to a funeral in years. So, and I'm a big believer in preventative measures. So if I can be proactive, educate myself, be a bad protector for my family, that's what we're going to do. And if I can do it as a day to day, 9 to 5, shit, I'm all in. And I get to talk with you fine folks. Thank you, J Ray. Yeah, this was a tough one. Oh, no worries, mister. I'll figure it out. We got our own way of doing things around here. Trial and error. Trial and error. Plus, I don't want to download any software or anything. I want to figure out how to do it with hardware. And the equipment that I really want is really expensive. And our channel's not doing very good right now. We're probably about going to shut. We probably don't have long as a channel, you know. But if we don't, that's not your failure or you guys not supporting me. It's just apparently me not being entertaining enough. But we are dying. So I don't know if that motivates you. Great. If not, it is what it is. What the hell? Hey, what's up, Jinx? None of that over here, Jinx. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Same goes for you, Charles. We're not doing that here. Do not start distracting my chat. See that kind of stuff, James. I don't mind. I don't mind people being. You can do whatever you want um, within your home. I don't mind. Do whatever you want to do. Betsy, my parents both passed away peacefully in their home with help of hospice, 86 and 82, married 60 years. That's the way to go. That's how my grandmother went. Oh, thank you, Mr. Bear. Oh, I get you now. I get what you're saying now. Sorry about that. I'm a little slow. Oh, Cheeks hooked somebody up. Thanks, Cheeks. That was nice of you. Who's the lucky winner? I would walk 500 miles. It's more like 2,000 miles. Hey, Arizona's a great state. More the merrier. I appreciate that, Christine. All right, let's continue on with this and then we'll get out of here. Streamers of all kinds collect money from their broadcasts, and the owners of the apps also take a cut, as do Apple and Google. So Apple and Google are making money off of this shit. The two big tech companies typically collect between 15 and 30% as a fee for in-app purchases. So now it's starting to make sense, right? In statements to the Times, neither Apple nor Google addressed the issue of in-app purchases for illegal streaming. Both companies said they had zero tolerance for child sexual abuse material and had removed or suspended the flagged apps. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. If you have somebody putting up nudity on their profile image, that should be a red flag. Boom, boot them out of there. Or if you title your stream adults only or adult content, like, I mean, come on. Both companies said they required app developers to police user generated content on their platforms. Yeah, right. Oh, that sucks, Charles. I'm sorry to hear that. That's not good. I hope it gets better. She's in here. Miss Bojangles. She's up in the mix. Hey, Cindy Lean, gang, gang. Thank you, Cindy. Boston. Shout out to you guys for sponsoring today's live stream along with Cheeks. You guys rock. That's all you got to do, Charles. You stay positive, everything will work out. I promise. I guarantee it. Just lead with love and you'll be all good. You will be 100%. Oops, Cheeks with another gifted Sleuth Intuition membership. Thanks, Cheeks. It doesn't tell me who wins, so I don't know who got it. I think it was J Ray. Hey, you're green. J Ray was very self conscious about that. Now you have no worries. Thanks, Cheeks. Hooking them up, lacing them up with the member symbol next to their name. I like it. It's a me. I'm green. Mr. Beer says, "This is sad news. This channel can't die. This was the first channel I ever chatted or called into." Well, we're trying. I got the studio. We'll probably give it another 6 months. Once I get all my equipment, we'll try to make the podcast thing work. But with the baby on the way, I mean, I have money in the bank and stuff like that, but to pay bills and stuff like that, you can't just hang around on YouTube all day without making money. And I'm not going to beg people. I'm not going to put myself in jail or beg you guys. Either you guys want to support me or I just do it as a hobby. It's no big deal. If I fail, it's 100% because my channel's just not rocking, and it is what it is. It's not your fault. It's nobody's fault. It's just, people just don't want to watch it. She's here. She should be here. No, she's not timed out. What's up, Peggy? All right. So we're almost finished with the article. Well, actually, we're not, but we are out of time. So we'll read a little bit more. Actually, this article is extremely long. I forgot this was a long one. Yeah, we'll just spend the last 10 minutes kind of going over some of the information. Fact or fiction, 86% of you said that red rooms and murder online during live streams is a fact. 14% said fiction. Well, we've covered enough stories to know that it's 100% real. I don't think she's in timeout, to be honest. I think she just came in to yell at Charles and then leave. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Beer. Hopefully it'll work out. We're going to do the whole podcast thing, and I look forward to it. I mean, I'm excited. We're going to give it the old college try. Not everybody gets to do their dream job. Imagine it would be like a dream just sitting here doing a podcast, hanging out with everybody, talking about true crime, educating, learning about victimology, criminology, psychology, things like that. But it might be time to get back on the grind. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, it is, Cindy. It is coming in hot. Welcome to members Betsy Ross and J Ray. Great to have you here. Yeah, thank you, Cheeks. Oh, she said she got timed. Yeah, don't time out, Jinx. I don't know who did that. Let me see if I can find out my chat. Doesn't say. Jason says, so if you leave Sleuth and the inevitable biopic about your channel comes out, who's going to play you? There's going to be a scene of him rigging Wi-Fi at Camp Crystal Lake. Oh, it's pretty good. Hey, Peggy with the super sticker. Thanks, Peggy. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I sure as hell didn't time her out. But I mean, we have rules around here, and the mods know that. So they're just following the rules. We don't do drama around here. It's just negativity that I can't handle. It hurts the soul. And I don't got time for it. Oh, cheeks. Let's see who got lucky this time. Mr. Beer. Congratulations. Congrats. Maybe I can untime her out. Let me find her name. Yeah, Jinx knows I love her. Let's see. Doesn't say she's in timeout. It's good rules. It's no distracting. You have to be able to agree to disagree, and no trigger trolling, and no accusing the family, no accusing victim, no re-victimizing family members of violent crime. Pretty simple. It's not. It's not too much to ask. The people who come to my channel, they just want to hang out. They don't want to argue. They want to have an open discussion. They don't want to bicker and moan and complain. Oh, you did this or you did that. That's just not. I have to protect my viewers. That's the culture that we've created here on the Sleuth Intuition channel. You know, you leave the bullshit at the door. So if you can follow those simple rules, which are easy, I mean, these are normal rules, you know. Don't victimize family members. Don't re-victimize them. Have the ability to agree to disagree. And don't be rude. And no trigger trolling. It's pretty simple. It's too much to ask, is it? Sparky says she isn't timed out. Maybe she was. Yeah, we may only have 6 months, Mr. Beer, but we'll see. Anything can happen in 6 months. But with the baby on the way, you know, little side jobs and doing YouTube, it's just not going to cut it. But that's nobody's fault. You know, like I said, I'm a positive thinker. Maybe we'll blow up. Maybe the channel will blow up. Is there a Freddy Krueger in here? I don't even see him. J Ray, you're not a distraction. You've been great. Now that cat of yours, that's a different story. I won't do that stuff, Sleuth, I promise. Nobody really does. It just happens very randomly. And when it does, I just have to remind people. It's not a threat or anything like that. It's just more of an expectation. Yeah, you're too serious. You think Cheeks. She's given away 3 of them so far, and that's huge support for my channel. It's basically a $15 donation. Oh, Sparky says no. Jinx was not timed out. Just deleted her comment. Okay, thanks, Sparky. You guys do your thing. You know the mods. They know what I'm looking for. They know what to do. So, and they'll be the last ones that I scold anyway for all the help that they do for me and my channel. Exactly, Peggy. Keep those good vibes. Exactly, Cheeks and I do. I'm not panicking. I just want people to know, I think it's better to communicate that. Like, hey, but either way, it's not a big deal. It would be great if we can stay around, but hey, every once in a while, jumping on YouTube, that's cool too. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you so much. We've tried to do things here on this channel, our way. We try to do things our way. We don't have any gimmicks. We don't have any fancy intros. We don't appease to anybody. We don't ride the fence. We don't do any of that shit. We just do our own thing. They call my films trash, but in each and every one, deep down inside, there's a message to be heard. There's a moral to every Friday the 13th film. I believe that. I know what she was doing, Mustang, and it's not the platform for it. It's not what we do here on my channel. We don't use the chat to call people out. We don't do bickering. It didn't happen on this channel, so it has nothing to do with us. You want to know why it didn't happen on this channel? Because we wouldn't allow it. We wouldn't have allowed it to happen. And that's the point. Love and truth. Lead with love and absolutely. Mr. Beer says, first time I called Sleuth, it was Idaho coverage. I had never done a call and kept ranting about the bottom window until Patrick was like, hey, why are you still talking? Learn to slow down. Never. Someone else gift another sub. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I think I might be able to give away some. Membership gifting. See. Ooh. I can give away 5 right now. Actually says I can give 10. So maybe we'll do a live stream later where we give those away. We'll make an event out of it. Yeah, I would in Mustang. That's definitely not allowed. So it's not that we don't want drama. We don't want drama from other places finding its way in here. You know. I think you have to be on a regular browser. I'm not sure how that works. She trusts no one. She's a distraction. She'll come around. J Ray, she'll come around, I promise. I have hope for that cat, for that Hellcat. Calm down. Sparky's just doing her job. See the negative energy that was brought in by all of that? You see how it spreads? That's why we avoid it. Because it becomes a distraction and it's contagious. And I hate it. I hate it. It's like a virus. It's a sickness. All right, guys, that's going to do it for all our time. But I do want to give a special thanks to Boston Christian, Cheeks, Cindy, Boston Christian, Cheeks again, Peggy O. Very thoughtful of you, very generous. Thank you so much, Peggy, for your support. And again, Cheeks. So make sure you guys, if you were gifted a membership, you thank Cheeks. She's responsible for it. And Jay Fallon. I don't think I know who that is, but I'm hoping it's a compliment. All right, guys, if you can do me a favor, go share this on your X feed or your Facebook or your YouTube community page. And also, thank you for the donation, the Venmo. You rock. That was very generous of you. Like I said, everything counts, and you guys make it possible for me to be here. Oh, Jimmy Fallon. I was like, who's Jay Fallon? Thank you. Yeah, I don't like Jimmy Fallon. Thank you, Cindy. All right, guys, this was a great live stream. Thank you so much for hanging out. And if you missed the live stream replay crew, let me know what you think. Fact or fiction? Remember, the Red Room is very similar to a snuff film, but it's more of a live stream. You can click links, you can communicate with the people who are conducting the live stream and pay extra money to actually tell them what you want done to the victim, which is terrifying. You too, Miss Bojangles. Thanks again. Boston, we'll see you later. Betsy Ross. Yep, we'll stay busy, Betsy. We'll stay busy. You never know. Maybe things will come around. Maybe things will get better. Like I said, we're going to start podcasting, and that's really what I wanted to do. I just didn't have the space or the energy. So, yeah, we're going to start having live podcasts, guests in the studio. So, we'll see what happens. If not, it's back to the coal mine for me. Jason. Just don't let any of the kids get too touchy feely. We know what happens to those. They're the first to go. You know, no sex in a horror movie or you'll get murdered. Everybody knows that. Yeah, I'm not a big Jimmy Fallon fan, so I appreciate that. That's funny. I think so too, Mr. Beer. But either way, you know what? It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Either way, we're going to be good. I'm one of those people that I just feel like I don't deserve anything that I want. You know what I mean? Nobody gets to do what they want all the time. Thank you, Sparky. Charles says Kimmel. I don't like Kimmel either. I think they're both like on par. Both shitty. That's rule number one. Absolutely. And if it was meant to be, it will be. But the only thing is, guys, we're 100% crowd funded. So if it does happen, it's because you guys made it happen. You know what I mean? So don't forget that. Do not forget that. So you guys take care. Peggy O, Charles, Jinx, if you're still out there, have a great night. Boston, Cindy Lean, Julia, where'd you go? Mr. Beer, Mustang, you take care. It's all good, Mustang. There's no need to perpetrate it. Just let it go. Just let it go. We already forgot about it. Thanks, Charles. Have a great night. Don't let anybody get you down, Charles. I might have to. I might have to. I might have to. But like I said, we're going to have live guests. So we have a lot to look forward to. I'm very excited about it. I have the full support of my family. So any decisions that I make, it's because I make them. But I know what to do. I know what the right thing is. So we'll pray on it. We'll stay positive, and I'll see you guys again real soon. And replay crew, shout out to you. Make sure you leave me a comment and let me know, fact or fiction. Take care, guys. Peace.